Today we have ourselves a viewer request stage, and this one is taking us into another crystal layer. This one, though, is ran by a cult, and the silly cultists, they get into all sorts of evil shenanigans. So let's jump in and see if we can take these bastards out. was a fun but quite challenging little stage. This stage was designed quite well, with a lot of emphasis on blocks being thrown into the air and into lava that made for quite the challenge. There were some odd placement of items, such as in the Eddy room there's a ladder that leads to nowhere, and there were times where it felt a little too tight, but overall this was designed pretty well. Enemy placement was done very well, with a decent variety of enemies to contend with, mostly the crystal cultists themselves, although there were a few other enemies scattered throughout. They were all placed well to be fair and balanced without any indications of being cheap, and overall it was done pretty well. On one hand, you only have 2 additional power-ups to play with. On the other hand, there's nothing to do with them. And that's why this one kind of gets that middle of the road score, is because there's absolutely nothing to do with them. The boss battle with Jewel Man straddled the line between basic and unique. While the arena itself was flat and, let's be honest, unremarkable, the punching blocks added a nice extra layer of challenge to a boss that's already fairly difficult to contend with to begin with. And that really added that extra element to this to make it an interesting fight. This was overall a fun and slightly challenging stage, which really it ramped up more in the latter half than anything else. There's a lot of fun elements here, and while there are some parts that could be tweaked a little, overall I had a really good time with this one.